All right, hello and welcome back to Relax Radio. You're tuned into the Hot Talk with myself Bevan, and we are actually doing a series of conversations. We covered what happened on Monday at GGG at Gota Go Gama. Then we spoke on the aftermath that was Tuesday. What happened after the chaos at Gota Gogama. And today we actually want to talk about what's happening in the country right now. Yes, yesterday, Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in to be the prime minister, the newly appointed prime minister of Sri Lanka. And now we want to speculate on if it is a plus point or a negative for the country, and if we can actually expect something good to happen or something really bad or drastic to happen. And if so, what will happen to the country and where will the country be heading to? So into this conversation, I have four really amazing youth, powerful, really, bold youth who really want to, carry on this conversation, who want to share their own opinions. They have their opinions, and this is the platform for them. So let me introduce them one by one. Firstly, I've got Nuzli Hamim. All
Hi,
right, we've
Bevan.
got Nuzli Hamim. Hello, Nuzli. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm really good. I'm really doing good. We're really excited. To have you in the show. I think I had an interview with you before at GGG as well,
Yeah, like
with
one
you
month
and your
ago.
friends. Yeah, I remember having that conversation. I think it was a really powerful time, and I think it's a really powerful movement that we have going on in Sri Lanka right now. And I think this is really essential and needed, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, can you give us like a little bit of backstory about yourself, who you are, what you do, and a little description on yourself?
So, before all these protests started, before before Americana, so I was just a random person who has done a civil engineering degree. I worked for a private company as a procurement engineer. So then, with whatever is happening uh, in the country, I decided that I thought, yes, this country deserves something better than these. Uh, I don't know these. I don't want to use any words. So these politicians are doing. So I thought I should take a stand. So for to save to get this country back on track. So I decided to go to protest, and that's how I went to Americana, and I got tear gas and whatnot. And ever since then, we started the Independence Square on 4th of April, and then we joined GGG, and here we are on 35th day, I guess, today, if I'm not wrong.
All right, thank you, Nuzli. I think that's really powerful, and you know what? Good kudos to you for what you're doing, and giving that all up and actually doing what you're doing. So next up, we've got Anjali. Vadura Gala. Is that right? I'm sorry if I got your name wrong. So let's just, what? I'm gonna give the mic on to Anjali. She can introduce herself. I'm really sorry. Let's go, Anjali.
Hi, Bevan. So it's Anjali Vanduragala.
Vadura
It's
Gala. So
fine
sorry.
though, like people mispronounce it all the time. But yeah, so glad to be here.
All right, Anjali, why don't you give us a little bit, a backstory about yourself, what you do, who you are, and what your really, your place is right now in the protests and everything that's going on.
All right, so I'm Anjali. I'm 22 years old. I'm currently doing my degree at the University of Colombo. I'm studying economics, planning on specializing in economics. So same as Nuzli said, I think Nuzli explained it all from the beginning. We thought and we realized that our country has so much of potential. We've known it for some time, but we stepped out when things got really bad, and we realized that we need to do something in order to get our country out of this, because after all, it's our country, it's our future, it's our money, and if we don't do something about it, who will? So I'm just another person involved in the protest, just doing whatever I can, whenever I can, and when the need arises. So I feel like it's really beautiful to see how everyone's contributing to the cause.
Thank you so much, Anjali. Yeah, and actually, we actually saw Anjali, really being active in these protests and really, going about doing her thing. I think it's really important that what's really important and what's really actually really nice and to look at is how the youth of Sri Lanka have really risen up and taken their place because youth, if you take youth, like even I'm 22 years old, right? And if you take our generation, the people in Sri Lanka, the younger crowd in Sri Lanka, what they wanted is, once they were old enough, I want to go abroad. Okay, once I'm old enough, I want to migrate. I want to go to UK. I want to go to US. I want to go to Australia. And that was actually, that's how hard people work to leave the country. But now we see the youth of Sri Lanka, working towards, no, this is my country. Enough is enough, and I want to fight for my country. And it's beautiful to see that. I've actually been down at GGG myself. I've conducted a few interviews myself, and I've actually interviewed many youth, and what they said is, this is my nation and I'm going to fight for it. And it's immensely beautiful to see how the youth have really riled up and really working through this.
Not just the
So
youth, I feel like it's just all groups being united. It's something we could never achieve as a country, and just seeing that unity and the love being there is amazing.
it
Goosebumps.
is. It truly is. I mean, like you said, all groups, despite religion, despite race, despite everything, people are working together, and this unity is going to be the turnaround for the country. I truly believe that. I truly believe that because you've never seen a revival like this in Sri Lanka before. You've never seen a
For
revival
sure.
like this in Sri Lanka before, and this revolution is one of a kind. So it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to look at, and it's beautiful to be a part of. It's truly beautiful to be a part of. So thank you, Anjali. So I think I'm holding the line on. So let's go on to our next candidate is Daniel Fernandez. Did I get your name right, Daniel? If I did not, I'm extremely sorry.
No, you didn't, but that's okay. Thanks for having me, Bevan. So it's my name is
Definitely.
Daniel Fernandez, and like I said, great to be here.
Daniel, why don't you give us a little bit of, a backstory about yourself, a small description on yourself, who you are, what you do, and your place in this protest and the works that have been going on right now.
Right. So I'm 25 years old. I actually have an academic background in law. I have a LLB from the University of London. Currently, I work as a lecturer in law on in the British LLB. So I lecture in for the Scholars Guild in Sri Lanka and for a university in the Maldives. And I am also running my own organization. It's a small organization called SnapArc, and I work in learning and development. And my work revolves around education, and it revolves around trying to disrupt the current thinking process, trying to focus on providing a different perspective to learning, to development, to education. And I think um, one of the key things that is really important to me is about having important conversations about taking in perspectives. And my place at this protest has also very much been about that. Of course, I've been helping to coordinate supplies and things like that. I've been at GGG since the day the protest started. And I think it's really important that we also have platforms like this so that we get out as many opinions and perspectives as possible, which have previously been suppressed. And I think that's how we move forward. I think conversation is how we move forward.
Exactly. That's true, Daniel. And I believe that, I believe that. And also you said you were a law graduate, right? So yeah,
Yes,
so
that's
so
correct.
obviously the conversation is going to get much more interesting because we want to also get into the law side of everything so that the protesters can also have a so the protesters will also abide by the law and actually carry on with their peaceful protest, so that they won't be disrupted and nothing negative can come in because what the people are doing right now is a positive impact on the country as a whole. We see how Mahinda Rajapaksa stepped down, and then now a new prime minister is appointed, but we don't know if it's good or bad. But still, things have changed. There has change that has been brought in. So that being said, Ella, we've got Ella. We had Ella previously also. So welcome back, Ella. How are you?
Hi, Bevan. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really, really good. It's really nice to see you again. So Ella, why don't you give our listeners, they already have, they already have listened to you, but why don't you give them, a backstory on yourself, a small description on yourself, what you do and what your part is in the protest.
Uh, Hi, I'm Ella. I'm doing law. I'm in the final year of my LLB. Nothing fancy like the other guests we have today, but I really believe in changing the country. Uh, as the youth have stepped up, and as Anjali said, not just the youth, but all groups of people have stepped up to make this country a better place, to change our country, to uh, transform our country. I think I also have we are obligated to play our part that we have to play to make this country great again. So I believe that our country will be restored for its former glory. So I really believe in that. So yeah, that's my backstory.
Thank you so much, Ella. So something really interesting that I want to really look into, now we've all actually mentioned our ages. So why don't we just go around mentioning how old we are? Nuzli, again, how old are you again? Would you be able to tell us how old you are?
I'm 28.
28, and then Anjali is 22 years old, and Daniel is
25.
25 years old, and again Ella is 22 years old, and myself, I'm 22 years old as well. So now you can really see, okay, the point that I'm trying to bring in. Okay, we the youth are trying to make an impact, a change in this country. All 22 20 year not 22, all 20-year-olds here, okay, and we are trying to make a change in this country, whereas generations before us said kamak ne. Okay, we don't have that mentality anymore. No, it's not kamak ne anymore. Okay, it's enough enough is enough. Right now is enough. So that being said, I want to get into the conversation straight up, without wasting any more time. So now Ranil Wickremesinghe was made vice president yesterday, prime minister. I'm sorry, rather prime minister, and we see how uh, people are really doubtful as in if it is the right decision for the country right now. So do you think this decision, in your opinion, will this decision benefit the country? In your opinion, will this decision benefit the country? Why don't we have Nuzli give us an answer to that question first?
Uh, Thank you, Ben. First of all, I think we all know why he's there. Yeah, he's someone who has been doing all the deals between Rajapakshas for over and over years. So when he had a problem, Mahinda put a carpet to to the roads, to the Sirikota also. So he had been supported by the Rajapaksa. Rajapaksa support him. So it's like that. So he is there. Even in 2015 when the Yapalana regime came, so he is the one who saved Rajapaksas going from prison. So he Gotabaya Rajapaksa didn't select him just to save the economy, save the country. No, he bought him to get uh, them a proper deal, get them not arrested and put them behind bars, and they have enough chances to come back in 2025 when there's another election. So there's not a good thing that Ranil Wickremesinghe became prime minister. That's a joke.
Ranil Wickremesinghe has been prime minister. This is sixth time, man. Sixth
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Like what he has done for the country for the last 6 times, he has done.
Honestly, that's the question we all want to know. What has he done the six times that he has been the prime minister in the country? Has the country ever moved forward? Do you all think the country ever moved forward, Nuzli? Do you think the
If
country ever
the
moved?
country, look, when the British left us, we were in a state, right? When the Singapore looked at us and said, "We are gonna make our country as much as the Colombo is," and look where we are. So you got the answer right there. All our
Exactly.
politicians, including Ranil Wickremesinghe, put this country down over and over and again, and we are in bankruptcy right now. So it's now or never. So if you are gonna get Ranil Wickremesinghe to save us again, we are gonna go back in time again.
All right, thank you, Nuzli. What do you think, Anjali? What is your speculation on Ranil Wickremesinghe being the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka for the sixth time again? What is your speculation?
Yeah, so I agree with Nuzli when he says that, look, he was someone who was rejected by the people. I mean, he has no majority. He has only one seat in the parliament. And how can he be brought as the prime minister? I mean, he is the only one-way ticket out of all the accountability that the Rajapakshas will have to face, and that's the only reason he was appointed. It's like we took one step forward with Mahinda Rajapaksa stepping down, and then two steps back with Ranil being appointed as the PM. I saw a lot of people had said that as well. So I feel like right now they haven't really listened to the people's demands, because the people's demands, it's not that hard, it's everywhere. The youth put out an 8 point statement with what we really want. We want the president to resign. Beginning with that, we have several other demands that we want, like abolishing the 20th amendment. So they haven't listened to the people. At the end of the day, they haven't given what the people want. So Ranil coming into power is just as, like Nuzi said, going back in time. So that's not what we want. Bevan, we can't really hear you. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm extremely sorry, guys. Okay. So let
Yeah,
me
we
let me technical difficulties. You know what,
just
technicality. Everything.
reiterate what you said.
It happens. It happens. So my question is, you said that, no, actually, what I was saying is, he's an old man. He's a very old man. But I like to talk about facts. I love facts. Okay. But when we talk about facts and we look into facts, you see that Ranil Wickremesinghe, compared to everyone else, is actually more educated. He has an educational background. He's an economist. He has plans. He has predicted things that have actually happened in Sri Lanka. So do you think, okay, his speculation, his ideas will actually move forward and bring something to the country? Will he be able to steer
Firstly,
this country out of damnation?
Firstly, I feel like that's a lot of expectations coming on someone who should be retiring. I feel like his political career should have ended a long time back, but then we see a lot of Sri Lankan politicians. Their problem is that they don't know when to step down, or clearly that's what's happening. So even though he is educated and he might have international attention at this point and some sort of control, time will only tell if he'll do the right thing right now. But I have my doubts. He's not the one that we wanted. He's not the one that we sort of saw as the person who's going to be taking us out of this problem. I mean, it's going to take a long time, obviously, for us to get out of all of this. But Ranil Wickremesinghe being PM is just going to make things worse at this point, because he's definitely, like Nuzli explained, he's going to be the ticket out of all the accountability that the Rajapakshas are supposed to face. They're supposed to be imprisoned for all the murders and everything that they have carried out in society for the past several years, I mean decades. So I feel like Ranil coming in there is just sort of their ticket out, and it's definitely not what the people want. So even if he is educated and he was maybe a good economist, what was he doing all this time? Was he waiting till he was appointed as PM to show us that his education could do something? I mean, he was in the parliament all this time. Why wasn't something done?
Exactly right. But let me also bring this into the conversation. So after he became the prime minister, the dollar rate has decreased from 380 rupees to 365 rupees. What do you think really happened? This is very fishy. This is really very fishy to me, okay? Because overnight a man comes in and the dollar rate goes down. So you could have done this a long time back, and now you're doing it once after Ranil comes in. So what's happening there?
Firstly, you said it yourself. It's super fishy.
It is
Second,
fishy,
I don't
yes.
think it has anything to do with Ranil coming into power, yet at least. But my thing is, all of these with the dollar, in fact, is probably the improvements we see by the new central bank governor that was appointed and his strategies. I feel like we're seeing the results of it happening only now. Maybe it's a coincidence that it happened right after he was made PM, but I don't think he deserves any credit for that happening right now.
All right, exactly. So now, you know what? I also want to know from Danny. Danny, what is your opinion on this? What do you think is happening right now? And also, do you believe that according to the law, everything is aligned properly and everything is working according to the law? And are we actually safe? Is the country in safe hands, or will it be safe coming on to the future? Will there be a safe environment for the country?
Okay, let me try and answer that. So, with regard to Ranil's appointment, I'm actually going to take a slightly different perspective to Nuzli and to Anjali. I don't disagree with the track record of Ranil that they pointed out by and large, and I also understand the fear that people have over whether the appointment of Ranil Wickremesinghe is just a exit ticket for the Rajapaksas. However, I do think that the situation is a little bit nuanced. The reason I think that is because I think the SJB and I think the key candidate for the premiership was Sajid Premadasa, apart from Ranil Wickremesinghe, and he has vehemently opposed taking on the premiership under the leadership of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. So in the absence of Sajid, in the probable um, the fact that AKD would probably not have had support to be a prime minister, I'm not too sure who the alternate option is. So at this point of time, I think we do have to wait and see. And I think a lot will depend on what Ranil Wickremesinghe does in the next few weeks. Is he going to support the no confidence motion? Is he going to actively allow legal steps to be taken against the Rajapaksas? Is he going to push for the 21st, not just the abolishing of the 20th Amendment, but is he going to actively push for the 21st Amendment, which is going to significantly improve on the 19th Amendment? So I think we need to wait and see. But there is also a significant worry that he does not have, like Anjali said, party support. None of the parties, except for the SLPP, have agreed to take on positions within the government. So that is definitely going to be a significant problem. But again, I'm going to go back to my earlier point. If it is not Ranil, who is the prime minister supposed to be? And I know a lot of people are going to mention names like Mr. Harsha De Silva, but I think he is not willing to take on that position right now. And I think we can also appreciate the fact that the SJB is refusing to get onto a bus that is being driven by Gotabaya Rajapaksa. So right now we have a very interesting situation where we have an opposition that is going to be watching every single move that is made by the president and the prime minister. And that may not be the worst thing for the country at this point of time. On top of that, like was mentioned, maybe Mr. Wickremesinghe does command some international recognition. And let's see if he uses that to the advantage of the country or whether he's going to fool around again. So I think we need to wait a little bit before we pass judgment.
Danny, do you believe that Ranil has the backbone enough to stand up to the Rajapakshas? We see, these people, for the past 20 years, if I'm not mistaken, it's either Mahinda or Ranil, these guys are, they're like playing games here. One after the other. It's if he leaves, this one comes in. If he leaves, the other one comes in. It's like they're playing games with us. But do you think at this point, given now, see, what you need to think of, this current situation has never happened in the past. Okay, people going onto the into the streets at this level has never happened before. Okay, the dollar rate shooting up at the point that it has shot up has never happened before. Okay, and the people suffering at so much at this point, okay, has never happened before in the past. So given all of this, this is like backgrounds created already, and Ranil is stepping into this. Do you think he has the backbone enough? Okay, I obviously know that you can't give a proper answer because it's Ranil in end of the day. But do you think he can do this? It's a huge weight to carry.
Look, to be honest, Bevan, I think the biggest difference in this situation is not whether Ranil has the backbone, but rather it's the people. I think that's the difference. Because in the past, in similar situations where people have been brought into power, they've been given certain responsibilities, I think we have allowed them to get away with it. So in this case, I don't think it's so much a question of whether Ranil has the backbone as whether we are going to actively hold him accountable. Are we going to watch every single move? Are we going to take whatever actions that can be taken? Are we going to maintain pressure on these people? And are we going to create a climate in which he will be forced to act um, according to the desire of the people? So I do understand the concern about Ranil Wickremesinghe, and that's a very valid concern. And I think maybe the next 2 weeks will give us a better idea of what direction he's heading in. And if we think he's going in the wrong direction, absolutely, we need to jump in and we need to make our voices heard.
Definitely, definitely, I believe that as well. And also, I want to, now you were talking about the amendments and the constitution and all of that. So now bringing these new amendments, okay, what now? As a lawyer, as a law graduate, can you explain to the people what benefits are going to be brought in? I think we had this conversation in the earlier discussion we had also, but I think this is something that we need to really press on because people need to know what they're stepping into. Because in the past, you see, people did not know what they were stepping into and they were just stepping into it. Okay, but it should not be the case anymore. People need to be educated. So that's what we're trying to do here. Relax Studio. We're trying to educate the people. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of speculation on the new amendments, what's going to bring in it? Just a brief summary, if you can.
I think the easiest way, without getting into too much of detail and taking too much of time, um, what people need to understand is that the 18th Amendment to the Constitution and the 20th Amendment to the Constitution were brought in under the Rajapaksa regime, and they were brought in with one very clear purpose, which was to significantly increase the power of the president, which was to significantly decrease the checks and balances and the accountability processes that can be taken against the president. And that is why there was significant backlash, and that is why the previous regime brought in the 19th Amendment. So if you look at things like appointments of the commissions, if you look at the different ways in which the president can be held accountable, you will see that the 19th and the 21st Amendment, which is a improvement on the 19th Amendment, will actually increase the checks and balances and will significantly reduce the power of the president to be able to get away with doing what he wants. And on top of that, I also think that with the with the with our current system, we're looking at this whole concept called an executive presidency. And this executive presidency, because of these amendments like the 20th Amendment, has essentially turned out to be more of an elected dictatorship. So we do not really have constitutional basis, if I'm not mistaken, for something called the executive presidency. And that is something that has been created by all of these amendments and by these various rules that have been brought in. So in a nutshell, what the 21st Amendment is going to do is it's going to make the president accountable. It's going to make sure that checks and balances are increased, and that there is separation of power between the key institutions of government, especially the judiciary. And we've really seen the judiciary stepping up over the last few weeks. We can only hope that that will increase and improve, and that courts will not be afraid to give fair, unbiased judgments because they know that they do not have to answer to the president. So that would be some of the significant factors which would be brought in by the 21st Amendment.
All right, that is good stuff, Danny. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for your input, your insight. But right now, we actually have to go into a short commercial break, and we will be right back. You're tuned into Relax Radio. This is the Hot Talk with myself, Bevan, and we are just talking about what's happening in Sri Lanka right now, and there is more to this conversation. So you can also join us live through Facebook and YouTube, and you can also connect with us on our social media handles. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have TikTok. Do like us, subscribe, and follow us, and we will follow back. And to keep in update with all that we're doing right now, all the conversations we're having, and all of our shows, do tune in. All right, that being said, we will be right back after this short commercial break. All right, welcome back to the show. Yes, you're tuned into Relax Radio. This is the Hot Talk with myself, Bevan, and we are talking about what's happening in Sri Lanka right now. All right, so we were just talking about, Ranil, and if Ranil is the right decision for the country right now. And all of that being said, Ellie, I want to ask you this question. In your opinion, because you know what, Ella has actually been quite active. She's also, going to this protest. She's also speaking out, and she's doing the best she can do. So I want to really ask you, and I want to get to know, in your opinion, how long do you think it will take to restore balance to the country? Or rather save the country from the current downfall it is in. Is it restorable? Do we have hope? People want to know if Sri Lanka has hope and how long. I think we covered this question earlier also, but this is something we really need to press on, and the people ought to know if there is hope for Sri Lanka.
Of course, there is hope for Sri Lanka because we are a blessed nation. We have so many resources that we haven't even tapped into. So I think with this change and with this revolution, from people really stepping up to do their part for the country, I think we have a promising future. Yesterday, I saw on the news about the new governor of the central bank was talking about the situation, and at last we have a governor who doesn't you know is not under the regime of the Rajapakshas, who is independent, who really wants to bring this economy into a stable place. So I think really because of his policies and his true intentions for this country not to fall down, I think uh, with that, I think we have seen the results of it also by the dollar suddenly the rate has gone down and rupee has appreciated. So it's great. It's great to see. Like it's a promise that yes, it's like a rainbow where you see, okay, for sure our country is going to come through this. So in my opinion, I don't know how long it'll take. It, like he said, it may take 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years, we don't know. But we can't lose hope right now. We have been fighting for so long, for 32 days. So we have to fight for more. Even if we have to fight for like 1 year, we will do it, just because we know that by us fighting for our country, we have a promising future in the years to come. So yeah, let's not stop our fight for now. We will stop when our economy stabilizes and when our country is in the place that we want it to see. We want it where it should be. So yeah.
All right, so you also like the others, you also believe that the dollar rate change was not something to do with, it's not something to do with Ranil coming into power. Is that right?
Yeah, even a small child knows that it cannot happen overnight. He was appointed at about 6:31, and today in the morning the dollar rate has, rupee has
Shut up.
appreciated and the dollar rate has gone up. So
Yeah.
I think, no, there is no combination whatsoever in that sense. I think Anjali would have explained. I don't know. Uh, I lost you for a while, so I don't know if she said it or not. But I think she would have a much more insight on that in the economic perspective. I only know the law side of it, law side of what's happening, and my opinions on what's happening. But yeah, definitely not because of Rania. Never.
Okay, we actually got a caller right now. So just give us a moment. We'll see if we can connect the caller into the conversation that we're having right now. Oh no, we seem to have missed them. No, that's all right. You know what? Things like this happen. So you know what? If you want to be a part of the conversation, if you want to join the conversation on what's happening in Sri Lanka right now, give us a call on +44 7852 473 473. Let me repeat the number again. It's +44 7852 473 473. That is our number. You can join into the conversation. You can also speculate if you want to. You can share your opinion. This is definitely, this is just a space for you. Relax Radio is a space for you, and this is a conversation for you where you can speak up, you can share your opinions. If you're suffering right now, if this regime is really put you down and you're suffocating right now, you can call us and you can discuss, and you guys let us know what is happening in your life, what is happening in Sri Lanka right now, and we will discuss this and we will see what we can bring in, because we believe that when we amplify the voice of the people, there will be change. And that is what we want to bring in change to this country. We want to bring in change to Sri Lanka. So on that note, I have another question. This question has been bothering me for a very, 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 very long time. And that is, Gotabaya Rajapaksa has not left yet. What is his deal, man? Like, why isn't he left yet? Shouldn't he leave the presidency for the country to even have hope for a better future? I really want Nozli to give an answer for this question.
In the hardest question. So, for the first of all, I would like to answer it in a different way. I saw Denny said, I know Denny personally through the protest also, so no harsh feelings, but Denny said, no one requested the president, or no one is ready to take the, what do you call, the prime minister's spot. Well, that's wrong. I'm not a supporter of any party, but this is nothing against Ranil or UNP also. But everyone actually, including I think Anur Kumar Dissanayaka or Sajid Premadasa or another 3 or 4 names were also included. But why it was not accepted by the Gotabaya Rajapaksa? Because Sajid Premadasa and Anur Kumar Dissanayaka specifically mentioned people mandate should be accepted, which is Gota should go home, right? So that was not included, but Ranil just come. Okay, I will take the what do you call? I will take the prime minister. I don't have any issue. I don't have a party. I'm just coming. I'm taking it, and he took it. So actually, what I tweeted yesterday also, people's mandate has been violated one more time here. So this is a democratic country, and people are shouting for the last 30. I mean, even starting from the candle protest. Also, it's been like more than 60-65 days. We've been asking some one thing: Gota should go home, and Rajapaksa should go home. And the last man standing right now is Gotabaya Rajapaksa to step down. And main parties had requested, in order to accept the prime ministership, they Gotabaya Rajapaksa should step down, but he hasn't accepted that. So even now, Ranil, if he really wanted to show that he is the right person, he can make sure that Gotabaya Rajapaksa to step down. He can ask, he can demand that, or else I'm going to resign. He can say that. He can do a lot of things right now. We have video proofs of who did what they did on Monday. No one is got
Exactly. Yeah.
arrested yet. Yeah, no one is
Yeah.
got arrested yet. If we have like video proof, we have Facebook profile, we have photos. No one got arrested yet. But who got arrested? I'm not saying he should have been got hit or anything, but police arrested who beat the DGP of Western Province within 2 hours. But they didn't arrest who beaten up Vishwa. They didn't arrest anyone who beaten up the entire Gotago Gama or Mainago Gama. Or they didn't arrest Mahinda Rajapaksa, Johnson Fernando, Nama Rajapaksa for leashing their thug dogs to start violence. But what is Ranil Wickremesinghe doing all this time? Like, he's been appointed for one day all around. Like, he didn't even do anything. Did he ask Gotabaya Rajapaksa leave? No, he is saying Gota Gogama can be there. Why Gota Gogama is there? Gota Gogama is there, so they saying Gota go home. But if he is not resigning, then all these are nonsense. We are not stopping halfway through. We after 74 days, 74 years, we people have came united. People have come united as one and fighting for one thing, to rebuild this country. I won't call this a revolution, because Sri Lankan revolution doesn't go really well in past also. So this is a huge change we are going to make in this country. And
Yeah.
if 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 we are going to settle halfway through even this time, and the next thing that's going to come in 2025 is Nama Rajapaksa for presidency or something
That's
like
never
that.
gonna happen.
Okay, so we are not going to settle halfway through this one. We
Yeah,
are
true.
not going to settle for Ranil Wickremesinghe. I don't have anything against Ranil Wickremesinghe or UNP or SJB or anything. I am a political person. If you work well, people will vote for you. So take this 2 years as a good opportunity to work well and show people that you really can manage this country. People will vote for you. But don't come here and
Yeah.
say, your father vote for me, your mom vote for me. No. Hereafter, nothing like that. No party politics hereafter. Hereafter, you work, you earn your vote. No
Nuzi,
for us
we've
to fight
actually got
around.
another caller online. Just give us 1 minute, Nuzi. We've actually got another
No
call
worries.
online. Hello.
Hello, Bevan.
Hello. Hi.
Can
Hi.
you?
Yes,
You can hear me, right?
I can hear you. Yes. Hello. Hello. Who I'm speaking to?
Hello, hi. This is Benji calling from Colombo.
Hi, Benji. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, actually.
That's good, Benji.
So
So yeah.
this question. I have a small question to ask, like any of the panelists. So I want to know, with Ranil Wickremesinghe stepping on as the prime minister, will there be an actual change, like a change to the positive, not to the negative?
I think they've answered this question again, but you know what? We'll answer this question once again. Can anybody give an answer to this? Who was
We
taking the
didn't
battle?
hear you.
I did hear the last bit of the question.
Yeah.
Okay, basically, so what he's saying is, with Ranil coming into power, can we expect something positive to happen in Sri Lanka? Do you think there will be a change? So I think the best person to answer this question is Anjali. So Anjali, go ahead, please.
So I'm just going to, okay, we can't say what the future holds, but how we can predict what's going to happen in the future is by looking at the past. When he came into power through an election with the Yahapalana, he didn't do anything. Did he put the Rajapakshas behind bars? Did he hold them accountable? He was also responsible for the Easter Sunday bombing. He was behind the bond scam. Did anything happen? No, right? So, because of the past things that were done and not done by him, I feel like the best thing or the best hunch that we have right now is that change is not going to happen the way we want it to happen. Maybe he's going to, like Danny said, maybe he'll try to be a bit different because of the fact that people are looking at him. But we have to remember that he has always been a puppet and will be a puppet in front of the Rajapakshas. As long as the Rajapakshas are there, I feel like he is just there to safeguard them. Because if he really did care about what the people wanted, just like Nuzli explained, the SJB, Anukumara, Disanayaka, all of them, they put forward conditions as to we want the president, we want Gota to go home, and then we will consider taking up the prime ministerial position or whatever and try to get the whole interim government going and the country into a better solution. Why did they do that? Because they were trying to listen to what the people wanted and cater to the people. But we don't see that with Ranil, and it's disgusting to think that now he's pressurizing the other politicians as well to take up certain positions without listening to the people's demands. So, in my opinion, in my personal belief, and many others that I have associated with, spoken with, I feel like Ranil is not going to do what we want at the end of the day. He's going to be the free ticket out for the Rajapakshas, which we
All right,
don't want, which we're fighting for them to be held accountable for every single thing.
exactly right. I think even Daniel has something that he wants to share. Daniel, go ahead, please. Daniel?
Hi.
I'm sorry, Daniel.
Can I be heard?
Go again, please. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Sorry. So just to pick up on where Anjali left off, I agree that it is a significant issue that Ranil does not appear to have majority. He doesn't appear to command majority in parliament, neither does he appear to have the people's mandate. I also think it is, yes, a significant concern that we do not know the basis on which he became prime minister. So, like Anjali pointed out, the SJB, for example, had 3 or 4 very specific conditions that they wanted to see met in order for Sajid to accept the prime ministership. We don't know what those deals were with Ranil or if there were any deals at all. So, that is definitely worrying. However, one thing that may be a bit of saving grace for the situation would actually be, like I mentioned before, the 21st Amendment is pushed through. Because under the 21st Amendment, we would return to a more parliamentary system of government. And while Gotabaya Rajapaksa may still remain president, and we don't know if that will be the case, he could still step down. Pressure is increasing on him day after day. But even if he does remain president for the next 4 to 6 months, and God hope not beyond that, he would just be a figurehead. He would just be a figurehead. And I also think that holding the rest of the Rajapaksas accountable is something that we can do irrespective of Ranil Wickremesinghe, irrespective of whether Gotabaya Rajapaksa stays in power or not. So yes, my hopes are not exceedingly high with Ranil being appointed prime minister. But I do think that at least if he is able to get through the 21st Amendment, that would be a significant victory for the Sri Lankan population. That would be a significant victory for our protests. And I think it will pave the way for us to be able to further pressurize Gotabaya to step down and for us to hold him accountable thereafter.
All right. Thank you so much for that answer, Danny. Benji, did you get the answer for your question? Did we answer your question, Benji? Yes, Benji? Hello? All right. It seems like we have lost Benji. Yeah, we still have Benji on. Hi, Benji.
Yes, Bevan, I actually got a really clear answer from the question I had.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to ask us, Benji? Or
Nothing. Nothing really comes up to my mind right now.
Okay, so thank you so much, Benji. Thank you so much, Benji, for calling. And yes, like Benji did, you can call us and you can raise your concerns. So you need to call us on +44 785 473 473. Let me repeat the number again. It's +44 7852 473 473. That is our number. You can connect to us and you can also raise any questions that you have, and we will see if we can give you an answer. So we will get back to the conversation that we were having. Yeah, we were asking why hasn't Rajapaksa, why hasn't Gotabaya left yet? Because people wanted Gotabaya to leave first. That was the initial plan. That was the reason for this protest. And we still see that man adamantly, being very stubborn, still sticking onto that seat. Is there something sticking him in on that seat? Is it like a glue or something sticking him in? Because people never know. It's really annoying to see how this man is still adamantly, despite all this happening in this country.
Fear and power hunger. Simple.
Bruh, this is just crazy. Because how much greed and fear can drive a person?
It's more than greed was there. Now it's more like fear. What will happen to him and his family?
We see how fear can drive a person. Now this is
you can look
prime
at him
example.
from his face when he made the speech last 2 days ago. It's fear. It's stress.
Exactly.
If anyone watched that speech, I feel like the only two meaningful things he said was the Teruan Saranai at the end. There was nothing else that made sense in that speech. I mean, he
Exactly.
just stated the same things over and over again. I'm not responsible. Don't be violent.
See,
මේ මාවසින් නිර්මාණය කරන ලද්දක් නොවේ.
maybe. So we don't even have somebody who won't even want to be, take a responsibility for their actions. And what kind of leader cannot take responsibility for their actions, really? When you talk about leadership and you go for leadership training and all of this, they talk about leaders being able to take up responsibility and being accountable. But we don't even have that in Sri Lanka.
No, we don't even have. You knew it. You knew it. Yeah, you knew who you were voting for. He was someone who jumped out of the country when war was getting heated up. So you knew how a person like that can save a country. And no, just because 21st Amendment came, we won't just shut up and wait. We won't go home, whatever said and done. He goes home. Someone else can be a puppet president or whatever. He going home 21st or 20th is there. He has to go home. I mean,
Exactly.
by home, we mean by
Jail.
Jail.
Yeah, exactly. Prison is his home. So actually, we've actually got another caller online right now. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at who this is. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Who am I speaking to? Who are we
Yeah,
speaking
this is Troy.
Hi, Troy. Hello.
Yeah, I would like to know, what was the situation and the whole atmosphere like when the 13 people were getting arrested?
Oh, wow.
Anjali might answer that. She was
Okay,
she was very crazy on
Anjali to
Marga.
answer that question, shall we?
Okay, so
Because I believe Anjali, you was there. You were there when this was happening, right?
yes,
When the 30
so
people
I
were-
was one of the very few witnesses that saw it actually happen.
Were you arrested as well?
I wasn't
Wait.
arrested. I wasn't. I was about maybe 500 meters away from when my friends were being put in the bus. So it was very more than traumatizing. It was a thing that I'll never forget that took place because it was completely, I wouldn't call it an arrest. It wasn't an arrest. It was an abduction because they were just taken in, put in a bus for peacefully protesting. All they had were their slogans and their voices. They didn't block anything. They didn't interrupt anything. They weren't told their basic needs that had to be met to call it an arrest weren't met. They weren't told why they were being arrested. No court order was shown. They weren't told where they were being taken to. Thankfully, I was able to get through to Buaneka, who was in the bus, and he advised us that they were being taken to Maharagama after have been driven around Colombo. So there was a lot of misinformation during that point, and it was a lot of panic because we don't trust our forces at the end of the day. After everything that has happened in the past, right now, the only people that we can trust with the law is our lawyers. We don't have any protection from the military, the forces, the police. Honestly, right now, since the PM stepped down, we have no protection. We don't. We're at state of turmoil. Anyhow, I drifted away from the question. The 13 that were arrested on that day, abducted on that day, it was truly frightening because at that point we had no idea where they were being taken. We had no idea where they would be, how they would be treated. Because as you saw on media, how they were handled during the arrest was very violent. The girls were also handled very violently. They have injuries on them as well, bruises and stuff. When they were taken into the police station, basic things like civilians walking into a police station wasn't allowed. We were blocked off the police station. They should have been released on a police bail, but that too wasn't met. They were taken to magistrates at Kadwala. We still went there. So there was a lot of things that happened. I would say it was very unfair and it wasn't just. It was sort of an illegal arrest, if I could say so myself. So the atmosphere that day was truly two sides. We were really mad, but also it showed a lot of unity as to how people showed up, how our lawyers showed up. There were over 150 lawyers that showed up to the scene to help our brothers and sisters that were there that day, the 13 of them at theatre. And also, over the 150 lawyers, we had 150 other general public that showed up over there, that showed their protest to the unjust things that were happening. So in that sense, I could say that we do trust the law, we do trust the lawyers, but it's just the forces and the police that right now are engaged in so much of brutal actions. Because at the end of the day, who are they working for? They're working to protect the people, the citizens. It's our money that goes to pay them their salaries and all of that. So they should be protecting us, not some political figure. They should know what this scene really needs to put forward is set a precedence that whenever, whether you're a police officer or in the army or the navy or the air force, that it's not the command of a politician. You should think if you're doing just with the law. So I feel like this situation in theater, the fact that we're taking it forward legally with so many lawyers, would set a precedence that, look, you shouldn't just follow something by the means of it coming from a political figure or someone with power at the top. You should think twice before following orders, because you can always question it. You can always say, look, this is not the law. I know the law, because if you're in the police, if you're in the forces, you should be knowing the law. So just to summarize it, I don't want to go too far. There's a lot that I can say about what happened that day, but in summary, I would say that was the situation.
To address to the whole panel here. Why don't we have the whole panel up here? All right, so we have the whole panel up here. So we have this question, and I think it is a must that we answer this. So the question, I think, is tell one instance where Ranil has safeguarded the Rajapakshas. There are cases again, all Rajapakshas. A case takes about 6 years to go to high courts. So this person is asking to tell one instance where Ranil has safeguarded the Rajapakshas. So anybody wants to answer that question? Can someone please answer my question? Or Rajapakshas were arrested, convictions
not
come
about
after the due
Rajapaksa.
process of law takes place.
It's easy. It's easy. So let's say, a theft happening in somewhere in a village. Okay, the police have the ability to catch the person and bring them in front of the court and get the verdict within months. But if it's something to do with the politicians, yes, like you said, it goes 6 years. Sometimes it goes 10 years. Sometimes it doesn't go at all. Look at Tajuddin's case. They dig him up. When Jahaparane came, what happened? What happened after that? Nothing.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how many cases, like out of all the sudden 2018, like how many cases they had? Look at the Malvana case, Malvana housing case of Basil Rajapaksa. It's gone. How many cases they got acquitted recently? They got freed recently when after they came, and they just use it. So like Anju said, the law is really good in Sri Lanka. The law is good. The lawyers are good. It's about the influence the politicians make sometimes just to drag the cases. It's not about police doesn't know how to work or police don't work. It's about how they were handled. Exactly, that's how it works, because they I think we have the best forces in, like, in I don't know, we have a lot of best forces, like in STF, like we have done so many good captures and everything, but when it comes to politician, it doesn't work that way. So there is something to do with politics. That's what I'm talking about. So
Exactly.
so even let's take Ranil, like he did the bank, like the what bid bond, some I don't know the exact wording of it, like central bank, like bond case. He's not arrested also. So it's like he saved him. Like it's the same way. They say, okay, we will arrest all the whatever they did for Tajuddin, whatever they did for Lasantha. What happened? They didn't do anything during Yahapal. And then comes these people. We will arrest people who are responsible for East attack. We will arrest whoever is responsible for big ponds. Look, did they arrest? No. But everything else goes same, right? So it's a game. They've been saving each other's ass for like 20, 25 years. Mahinda Rajapaksa is there for the parliament for the 54 years. And I believe Ranil Wickremesinghe also there for quite some time now, like similarly, I can't remember how much. So they've been saving each other's. So it's a deal. That's why today in front of Arli Gamandre, the no deal Gama was started. Because Ranil is famous for deals with Rajapaksas.
Exactly. So we're actually running out of time. So really quick, Ella, why can you also give a little bit of a speculation on, the question that was raised? That person was asking if what instances were Ranil actually covering up for the Rajapakshas? What is your take on it?
Uh, yeah, like everyone, like even mostly said, like he's famous for deals. That's why I think he has a lot of political affiliations, even with other countries, USA, Canada. So he is very tactical. He is very cunning, and the famous case that was the bond scam. Okay, how Arjun Mahendran was sent to another country without any without no one could find him until recently. I think 1 year or 2 years back, he was found from a CCTV camera. Until that day, no one could locate him. So to do something that is that precise, that cunning, to uh, now no one's talking about it, even like no one's bringing it up, no one's even bringing people into accountability. That should happen. It happened during his regime, and how can we, as a nation, as people, how can we trust our country with a prime minister like that? You know, so the famous thing is the bond scam. Like no one's talking about it. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to get acquitted. Even no one's talking about it, and I don't know if Arjun Mahendran is still in police custody or not. But there was a huge uproar when they saw him on a CCTV camera in a different country. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was, I think that's the most recent, the most huge, the huge uproar that happened, the bond scam. Yeah, it was truly bad for our country. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Allah. So, because we're really running out of time, there's one question that I really need to ask, and I think I need to direct this question at Anjali, really quick. So let's talk about GGG, because GGG is really important. We need to really address what's happening in GGG. So in regards to GGG, what's the current situation like in GGG? How are people managing their daily essentials like food, water, basic medicine after the attacks on Monday? Has it been any harder? And to the listeners out there, is there anything, a message maybe that you would like to share on, that you would like to, people, you would like people to know, basically, if there's a way that people can help you out? Go ahead.
Right. So, very briefly, since we're running out of time, since Gotago Gama was established at Galle Face, we've been having donations coming in from people. The people itself fund Gotago Gama with their donations. We don't take any donations in cash. We take it in the sense of items, daily essentials, food, drinks. That's what donors bring in, because we want to ensure utmost transparency and set an example, unlike most of our politicians. We don't want to leave room for anything to not be transparent. So it's crazy to see how people are giving in Sri Lanka. After the incident on Monday, I feel like the Rajapakshas dug their own grave, because they just grew more support, more donations coming in, more people stepping out. People who didn't step out before are now stepping out. So they just dug their own grave by creating that situation. I don't know if there was anyone there who could have advised them not to do that state-sponsored violence that was instigated on Monday. So even to this date, we have so many donors, so many people who send in so many things for us to sustain, from medicine to food to drinks to items such as tents. We see people donating it. I don't think there's any other country or people in other countries that would contribute as much through donations like our Sri Lankans. So we're living through an amazing time. It's crazy for us to live through this and be able to experience this, because even the older generations, they've tried to get this, but I think it was our generation that put it and finally showed
Really
people that
stepped
we
up.
could achieve it. So it's
Yeah.
it's crazy to have been able to see it, because people come and tell us, the older generation, when they come in with donations, they tell us, look, we can't be here, we can't stay here for too long, but you guys are driving this, and we're so thankful for this, for achieving this finally. So I feel like the message right now that we can give people is, firstly, don't give in to all the violent sort of approaches that our government is taking, the state-sponsored violent approaches. We shouldn't give in. I know they're leaving room and arousing us to be like them, but we shouldn't, because we're fighting to get rid of that. And I don't think we can fight the same way of what we're trying to get rid of, right? So we have to deal with
Exactly.
it with love, peace, and we know that justice will be served. We know that we're going to fight till that is achieved and until our demands are met. So I feel like Gota Go Gama is not just Galle Face. There's Gota Go Gamas everywhere. People that believe in this embody what Gota Go Gama is about. It's about actually being free and being able to get our demands met, to be able to meet all of it with love. So I feel like, and peace. So I feel like everyone that supports Gota Go Gama, that stands for those values, are part of Gota Gama, and we are Gota Go Gama at the end of the day. So that's our message to everyone, to push forward, make sure that we do make our demands met. Till then, we're not going to stop.
Yes, and if there is any way that you would like to contribute towards this protest, contribute towards the movement, you can reach out to us at Relax Radio, and then we will get you connected with Anjali, Nuzli, and the rest of the gang. We will get you connected. So basically, if you have anything, if you feel like you can contribute towards it, if you feel like you have something that you can donate, food, water, whatever it is, if you feel like you have the potential, you have the capacity to do it, do reach out to us. We are on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, you name it, we have it. So you can reach out to us and let us know, and we will get you connected, like I said, with Anjali, Nuzli, and the rest of the gang. And let's all try to make this work, because you know what, end of the day, we want to see Sri Lanka change. We want to see a revolution, an overhaul in Sri Lanka, an overhaul in the system, an overhaul in everything that's happening in Sri Lanka. That is what we need in Sri Lanka right now, and I speak for everyone right now, because that is what's going to push Sri Lanka towards a better future. A better future is what we all want, because we want a better future, and we want a better future for for our children and generations to come. So that being said, it's truly an honor to be amongst greatness, and I believe all these guys, these four people in the panel, I think you all did an amazing job. Thank you so much for your Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Thank you so much for boldly stepping up to speak for the people in Sri Lanka and all around the world. And also, we got a comment asking if this show will be available afterwards. Yes, after the show has been live and it's ended, we will have it on Facebook, and we will also have it on YouTube. So you can go again and check out the video. You can go and check out the show. So do tune into Relax Radio. We have more coming up. And don't worry, we will have more of the hard talk coming up in the future. So again, once again, thank you, Nuzli, thank you, Anjali, thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Ella, so much for your time and for your input. We really appreciate it. It's really an honor to be amongst greatness. And that being said, I think it's time for us to say goodbye. Sadly, it is time that we say goodbye. And I really don't want this to end, because this conversation is really good, and I have more questions to ask, but on another day,
Can I
definitely.
say something in the end?
Yeah, go ahead, Nuzli, go ahead.
Aragaleta Jai.
Javeva.
Aragalet Jayeva.
Aragale, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. So Aragale Java, that being said, I can give you like 5 minutes if any one of you have a last minute message that you want to share and share with the people of Sri Lanka and around the world. Go, Nuzri. Let's go.
Yeah. So I would like to say, Gota, like Anjali said, Gama is us. Gota Gama is Sri Lankan. Gota Gama means free Sri Lanka. Gota Gama means freedom to all of us and all of our future generations. So come support the cause. Even if you can't come, support the cause online. Put a black flag in front of your house. Be peaceful all the time. Be peaceful all the time. They will tell you, they will intimidate you. Don't fall for their hands. Always be peaceful and fight for the cause. And we will win this cause. Aragoled Jai.
Aragale Java, right? Okay, we'll go with Daniel. Daniel, go really quick. Do you have something that you would want to say to the people of Sri Lanka and around the world?
Yeah, well, just in conclusion, I think one thing that has definitely changed in our landscape right now is that people are stepping up, and people are showing
Amen.
a willingness to learn. People are showing a willingness to talk about things that they previously didn't talk about. People are not being apathetic to politics. People are fighting for issues that don't directly affect them, which is something we didn't have. So I think moving forward, we need to keep that going. We need to continuously speak up, and we also need to keep learning. We need to continuously keep learning so that we don't allow this country to be fooled. And we always make sure that we make educated choices with our votes. We make educated
Exactly.
choices with our social media presence. And I think that's really important for us to keep moving forward.
That's great news. Okay, we'll go with Ella next. Ella, last words that you would like to share with the world. Any advice you want to
Uh,
give Sri Lankans? Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have to be very proud of ourselves for actually stepping up and
That's true.
actually
That's true.
doing something for our country, because until now, I think people were so divided by racism and politics and everything. So I think coming together as a nation is a really big change for us. But I think it was better because sooner rather than later this was going to happen. So I think as Sri Lankans, we have to be very proud of ourselves, and let's push forward until the president resigns, until a suitable leader comes forth, because we can't let our political and economic economy of our country be unstable. So yeah, let's push forward, let's vote wisely, let's let's see let's see how we can make this nation better, let's see how we can contribute to the economy. And last of all, yes, they will try to intimidate us, they will uh, create something that they will want us to be violent. Just don't resort to violence. uh, be peaceful, be calm, let the lawyers do their work, let the lawyers take the law into their hands and bring justice to Sri Lanka and to the people of Sri Lanka. Yeah.
Amen. All right, Anjali. Last but not least, give us a little bit of advice, a last piece of word that you would like to share with the world.
I feel like everyone just summarized everything. We are learning. Every day we
Exactly.
learn something. I feel like the past 35 days, I've learned so much from just being at Gota Go Gama. We are a country that has so much of potential, and we are going to reach that potential. For years we haven't been, but I feel like now, not just the youth, people are learning to question things, like Danny said, and that's a good sign, because we're not just
Exactly.
going with what's told to us. We question, we ask, we learn. So I feel like we've opened that space, and it's not something we should let go. We've achieved almost 85% of what we have to achieve. It's like the last 15% or less. So let's push through. Let's not get intimidated. Let's believe in each other. Trust the system of law. I know that certain things we've been discouraged because we've seen certain things happening, injustice happening. But I feel like we have a better future. I think we have hope for everyone who thinks we're not achieving anything. We've achieved so much. The list goes on and on
Exactly.
and on. Just support the cause. Arigale
Aragale
Jayadeva.
Jaiva.
Jaiva.
Amazing, amazing. So thank you guys very, very much. You know what? Like they said, let's not go with the flow. Let's make change. Let's bring change into this country. Vote wisely, like every one of them said. Vote wisely and choose wisely. And let's all get educated and work to the betterment for the country. We are the youth of the nation. We are the future of of this nation, and we can look forward to better Sri Lanka. And that is the hope of all Sri Lankans right now, and all of our listeners and everyone tuned in. So this is Relax Radio, and I'm very sad, but this is for me, time for me to say goodbye. It's time for all of us to say goodbye. But promising you guys that we will be back and we will do a conversation like this again. We will come back with the hot talk. And so, yeah, I think it's time we say goodbye. So you're tuned into Relax Radio, and it's goodbye from me. But hope we are going to hope, and you can have hope to meet us soon, have us soon. We're going to bring in more conversation. There's more lined up for you guys. So keeping that in mind, it's goodbye from me. Adios, amigo. I will see you on the other side. All right. We take care, folks. Bye bye.